Good afternoon and welcome to the Melanoma Research Foundation Meet the Honoree. We are so excited to join you all today. We have a very special guest with us. His name is Dr. Scott Walter. He is joining us from About Skin Dermatology, and in just 4 weeks, he will be receiving the Melanoma Research Foundation's Influencer Award. So today we are really excited to have a conversation with Dr. Walter and learn a little bit more about him, and certainly our 10th annual gala that we will be hosting in Denver on September 23rd. My name is Kylie Lapira, CEO of the Melanoma Research Foundation. And again, we are so excited to be back with our community in person in 4 short weeks. So we hope you will all be joining us at the Denver Gala, September 23rd, 6 p.m. at Infinity Park Center. And we're going to provide information later on about how you can purchase tickets. We are so grateful for the outpouring of support that we have received so far for this year's event. We have so many wonderful sponsors, so many individuals and companies that have really come together to support this great event. And we're really excited to celebrate with all of you. So today I have the esteemed pleasure of speaking with Dr. Scott Walter. And just to give you a little bit of background on him, he's also known as the Denver Skin Doc. So for all of you TikTok social media followers, that's how you'll find him, as the Denver Skin Doc. He's a board certified dermatologist who practices in Denver, Colorado at About Skin Dermatology. And he's really gained worldwide recognition and following from his TikTok channel with almost 500,000 followers. So he's known for being brutally honest about everyday skincare choices and debunking skincare trends with a little cosmetic twist. Dr. Walter really enjoys educating the public and telling them about sun safety tips, skin cancer prevention, and really the basics of skincare. Dr. Walter received a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Rochester, graduating magna cum laude. He then attended medical school at the University of Rochester, where he really developed his interest in dermatology. Throughout his training, he's received numerous awards and competitive scholarships, which have helped shape the dermatologist that he is today. So the award that Dr. Walter will be receiving at this year's gala is called our Influencer Award. It's the first influencer award that we've had at a gala, so we're really excited. And Dr. Walter was nominated to receive this award by our Denver host committee to really recognize him for stepping out of the box and dedicating himself to educating the public and using social media to do so about the risks of melanoma and skin cancer. So without further ado, let me all introduce you to Dr. Walter and chat with him a little bit. So Dr. Walter, tell us, what made you decide to become a dermatologist?
Well, first, thanks, Kylie, for having me. So excited to talk with you more. So yeah, believe it or not, I had actually never thought I'd be a dermatologist entering med school. I remember going around at the career fair and looking at the dermatology table and thinking skin is gross. But you know, I actually was almost about to be an ear, nose, and throat surgeon, but did a dermatology rotation right at the end of my 3rd year of medical school. And ever since those 2 weeks, I really never looked back. I found that dermatology really combined all my interests, you know, from surgery, oncology, technology, you know, complex medicine. It really, you know, brought it all together into one specialty, which I really have come to love. And let's see. So yeah, there was no looking back from there. It was a late decision, but I'm glad I did it. And luckily I was able to apply to residency and get in. But what I really like about dermatology is every day is different. So we can really cater our careers to, you know, really how we want them. If we really want to specialize in skin cancer or even cosmetics or pediatric dermatology, we can. But I really see, you know, kids to adults to older people. So every day is different. It keeps me, you know, interested in the field and happy. So that's really why dermatology, why I love it.
That's awesome. And you have there's 2 practices of About Skin, right? There's 2 locations that you practice at in Denver?
Yeah. So I'm at About Skin here in Denver. We have an office in Greenwood Village and then also down in Lone Tree at Skyward Medical Center. And we have 6 dermatologists currently, adding a 7th here in a couple short, just over a month now. So we're growing, and we do it all here, from general dermatology, surgery, Mohs, cosmetics. We have a whole research team. So we're always looking at new technology or new medications, new treatments. And so it's great. It's a great environment. And coming out of residency, I'm so happy that I joined this practice, because I've learned so much from my colleagues here. And they've learned from me as well. So it's a good community.
That's fantastic. Well, I saw the number of your TikTok followers and I was like, holy smokes, that's a lot of people.
It is.
You got a lot of people following you, almost 500,000. And when I think of a dermatologist, I don't think of social media. I kind of think of going into the office, a little dermatoscope coming out, looking at a mole. I don't think of somebody on social media, especially TikTok, which I think is a whole different generation of social media users. So tell us a little bit why you started your TikTok and are using social media as a platform.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I never in a million years thought I'd be like a social media person or anything. I joined TikTok back in like December 2019. My medical assistant, Katie, said, "Oh, you should download this app. It's so funny. There's some other doctors on there." And I joined it, got hooked, and I started making videos like with my dog, and just some funny things with the medical assistants. But then, as I noticed, I started posting more medical content, and eventually like dermatology and some comedy in there. It really grew from there and kind of exploded, over the past year. It's crazy to think that 500,000 people are interested in everything I post. So it's pretty cool. And I'm a pretty shy person, but so it's kind of an outlet for me too to show them off my funny side and get out there and do something. Yeah, no, you're fantastic.
I think everyone needs to follow you because you add that nice blend of education and humor, and the videos are short and they're so informational and fantastic. So
thank you.
I really enjoyed following you. And so tell us a little bit, what's the best video that you've done? Like the one that you're like, wow, everybody really responded to this, or people love that.
So my most popular video, I guess, would be, so last January on my day off, I went to like a drugstore and just started picking up skincare and filming, ones I liked and ones I didn't like. And then I made a kind of a funny video saying yes or no, essentially, to the products in kind of a sassy way. And that just blew up overnight. Like now it has like almost 32 million views and 250,000 shares. And it's just, and then my audience has just grown from there exponentially since then. So that's the most popular. But I think some of my favorite videos though are definitely, the ones where I try to convince people to wear sunscreen every day. Some people think that's such a foreign concept and are so surprised. And it's always rewarding to see them in the comments later saying, "Oh yeah, you're the one who convinced me to wear sunscreen every day," or even to just go get a skin check. So it's fun to mix in, I think educational stuff like that, which I think people do appreciate. And then, the whole skincare side of dermatology. And, there's so much out there, and how to pick the right products and, protect your skin or, treat different things. So there's so much content to be created. And that's one nice thing about it too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, during the pandemic, people were not coming in to see the dermatologist, right? That was something that you guys were experiencing.
Yeah, we shut down for a good 7 weeks or so. So I was at home, every day of the week for the first time in my career. And that gave me a lot of time to, make TikToks and, really think about social media and all that. And so it was hard though, shutting down and not seeing patients. And a lot of people unfortunately delayed their care because of that. So,
So tell me a little bit about that, because I know, before we jumped on today, you were telling me how busy you guys are and you're seeing a lot more patients. Are you seeing a delay to people who didn't get their dermatology appointments in 2020? Like, what are you seeing as a dermatologist right now?
Yeah, we definitely, saw, we eventually opened up last summer or so, and it was slower because we were making the schedule less crowded purposefully, but people were hesitant to come back even throughout the year. So it was a slow year overall. And this year, this summer, as vaccines came out, we're definitely seeing a bigger uptick back to where we used to be. But a lot of those patients are those patients who I would see, in 2019 who hadn't been seen in over a year, even with history of melanomas or skin cancers. And unfortunately, a couple of them came in with, new melanomas that are a little more advanced than we'd like to see, and probably could have been prevented had they come in, sooner. So it definitely has an impact. And there's been studies to show, I think it's in all sorts of fields, but we're seeing that, hesitancy. So it's unfortunate. But, we do everything here to try to make it as safe as possible, and we're still following all the protocols and whatnot. And luckily, to our knowledge, we haven't had any, patient outbreaks here because of it. So
good. And I'm sure even during the pandemic, people were also continuing to be educated through social media. And that's really, for us at the MRF and certainly for the Denver Host Committee, what we really appreciated was that constant education of really the general public, because melanoma is, like you just said, so treatable if it's caught early.
Exactly. Yeah. I think, the pandemic, helped TikTok grow as a platform, but also got more people, watching educational content. So hopefully we convince some people, to come in and get their skin checked.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit, what is your sort of like most rewarding moment or experience as a dermatologist? Like, what motivates you on a daily basis?
It's a good question. There's a lot I could pick from. I mean, every day is pretty rewarding. All the patients we see, it's nice because in dermatology, from a surgical standpoint, we can cut out the skin cancer or treat it and, it's gone. Or with acne, we can treat patients and we see it on the skin get better and can improve their self-confidence. A certain patient story that I can think of, was a guy who came in with this big black kind of almost golf ball sized lump on his arm. And he, I guess had been really afraid to come see doctors most of his life. And finally came in, and he barely let me even do a biopsy on this spot, which ended up unfortunately being a pretty deep melanoma. However, luckily the rest of his testing was negative, and now, he comes in every few months. We're good friends. He's not afraid to go to doctors anymore. So kind of seeing those stories, which we see all the time, helps me, definitely enjoy my career more, and for sure rewarding. Yeah. So things like that.
That's awesome. It's amazing to see, again, I think a lot of people have that apprehension of seeing the dermatologist, and there's a lot of myths, with people as well, and insecurities. And so, what did you tell him to sort of ease his mind? Were there things that you were able to do, or things that you could share with our audience about, seeing the dermatologist? And maybe it's not as scary as people think.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely nerve-wracking going in and having someone, just like any test, look at your skin to see if you have some sort of skin cancer or concerning spots. So, I don't blame people for being nervous, but, the vast majority of the time you get reassurance at the end of it. It's an opportunity to ask more questions, about, ways to prevent further damage, decrease your risk of more skin cancers. So, a dermatologist is here for you to do all that. And, at the end of the day, we're going to take care of it and do what's best to make you, if you do have skin cancer, we're going to treat it and get you feeling better. So, but you're not going to know that until you have someone take a look and treat it. So that's always the first step. So yeah, basically I was just convincing him that it's going to be okay. And, we have all these, great new medications that, if we need to do more than just surgery and whatnot, it's going to be okay. So things like that, which is good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we really talked about how, melanoma is very treatable if it's caught early. But let's talk a little bit about prevention, because that's also something that you really focus on social media. A lot of tips on sun safety and skin cancer, melanoma prevention. Tell us a little bit about sort of your messaging. Like, when you think about the messaging you want to put out on TikTok, what does that center on? What are kind of the pivotal messages that you want to drive through on social media related to prevention?
Yeah, I think with melanoma, we know that, a lot of it starts early. How many childhood sunburns you've had or blistering sunburns you had, especially earlier in life, matter a lot, or they increase your risk later on for melanoma. So I think a lot of it revolves around targeting that, especially TikTok audience who are, teens, into getting in the habit of trying to protect their skin with, sunscreen or protective clothing, and just being conscious of that on a daily basis. It's surprising how much misinformation is out there, about sunscreen, and people thinking that it causes cancer, or people with darker skin types thinking that they don't need sunscreen, or that they can't even get skin cancer in the first place. So trying to debunk those myths, and it's a lot. But yeah, I think that's my main goal, is really sun safety early on. But then also, how to check your own skin, what does melanoma look like, when you should go to a dermatologist, things like that. A lot of adults don't even get skin checks, and just, what's involved in that. So there's a lot just revolving around, prevention, but also taking care of your own skin health and being proactive about that I try to really focus on.
And why do you think a lot of adults don't get skin checks? Like, why do you think what's preventing them from getting their skin checked, in your opinion?
That's a great question. I'm not really sure. I think, with insurance these days, and sometimes the cost could be a prohibitor if people have high deductibles and they don't, want to spend the money, I guess. Or, it could be they're not aware that they need them, or they think that, they're unaware of what to look on their skin, or what's, concerning. So they don't know the reason to come in. So I think there's a lot of factors there. But yeah, it's unfortunate. But I think awareness is improving, and, I think more people are being proactive, especially like the younger crowd. And they're, I'm seeing a lot more people in their 20s coming in for skin checks, which is great, and being really proactive about their sun safety habits. So that's good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's great that you're seeing a younger generation of people who are being proactive and getting in the habit of wearing sunscreen, because I do think it's also that habit forming that needs to happen, just like Definitely. You're putting seatbelt on when you get in the car, you're putting your sunscreen on before you head out the door.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit, you're receiving our first ever influencer award. We've never had an award like this before at one of our galas, and we're so excited to give it to you in 4 short weeks here in Denver. So tell us a little bit about what this award means to you.
Yeah, it's such a huge, huge honor. I was so surprised when you guys reached out to me and awarded me this. It's, I think it shows how much, social media is changing, especially, in the medical community, and how much it can be used for educational purposes. I put a lot of work into it. It's nice to be recognized, but more importantly, I think it's just good to show that, that doctors can use social media, and we can really use it for educational purposes. And so hopefully, it helps inspire other physicians in all specialties to, get on social media and help educate their patients, and, grow their audience from there. So no, it's such an honor. I'm so pleased to be, a part of it. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you're really, you're reaching people beyond Denver, which I think is just so cool. On social media, you're just casting such a wide net of, information, and really bringing people in on this such a critical area.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, not even the United States, but I have a huge following in like the Philippines for some reason.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, it's pretty cool to reach people from all corners of the earth, and hopefully we're getting the message out there for them. So it's been a wild ride, but I'm enjoying it. So it's great.
Yes. Well, I think everyone will attest that 2020 was a wild ride, and hopefully this ride will be coming to an end soon. So
I hope so.
Well, Dr. Walter, I really want to thank you for joining us today and spending time. We know how busy you are treating patients, and appreciate, you giving us this time to share a little bit more about who you are and what you do and why you do it. So a big thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm really looking forward to the gala next month. Can't wait.
Great. Well, we're looking forward to honoring you there. And if you haven't purchased your ticket yet, for all of our friends out there, you still can. Again, the gala is on December 23rd. That's at 6 p.m. Mountain Time at Affinity Park Event Center in Glendale, Colorado. We're going to put up a link in a second where you can go online and purchase your tickets. Join us, come celebrate with Dr. Walter in person, and all the amazing melanoma patients out there who will be sharing their stories at the event as well. Thank you again for joining us. And please don't hesitate to reach out and with a question about the event and purchase your tickets today. They are selling out fast. Thank you.